Gingers or black? Okay, gingers. They are uniting with black people. They're calling each other cousins. All right. Some of the ginger people, what I've seen, in some of the clips, where they said that they running into black people on the streets and black people calling them their cousins, and they bust out laughing. I seen this one guy say he got a whole lot of inbox messages from black people saying nice things to him and just really made his day. Calling him family. They saying stuff like welcome home, right?
It took one woman to come on here and say gingers are black for y'all to believe finally that I'm black. That's crazy, bro. I have two black parents. Two parents darker than me. And nobody was believing me until this lady, shout out to her though, shout out to her, until this queen, let me fix that. This queen came on here and said, gingers are black. So forget all the family pictures, all the melanin, excuse me, not right now. I've been inside, I look like a sugar cookie, whatever. Summertime, excuse the melanin, right? Excuse the hair, excuse everything, you know what I'm saying? Forget all that. I was still a white man. Now, and only now that she says something, now everybody call me black. It's crazy, but shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the gingers around the world, white, black, everybody. Shout out to y'all, man. I grew up hating my freaking freckles. You know what I'm saying? They was calling me a ripe banana. I got called fire crotch. Yo, Sinbad, Jadena, any name in the book, I heard it. Finally, we getting some love. Damn.
Guys, it happened. I had to run to the grocery store real quick this morning, and as I was rounding the corner, there was a millennial black man behind the deli counter, and he and I made eye contact for a second. We both hesitated to be are they on TikTok? But he was like, cousin! And I was like, cousin! And then we both just erupted into a fit of giggles, and it was just the purest, most joyful thing ever. And this is the kind of thing that I think makes this phenomenon that's happening on our algorithms right now be more than just a silly, meaningless little trend. I think this moment of connection, or this permission to break the ice as strangers and to say hello, go out of our way a little further to say hello to each other or to have each other's backs, I think will have practical application out in the world. Because I had no plans to go to the deli counter, so would I have said anything, right? I nod to people, I acknowledge people, but would we have had this big emphatic moment of joy and recognition had this all not happened? Probably not. And I think this feeling of having allies is really important because I've also seen a lot of posts, understandably, of some black folks that are we're just letting any redheaded white people into the cookout without vetting them first. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Before anyone would invite anyone into their home, into their safe spaces and their family, of course you gotta vet that person. Of course they've gotta earn your trust. Of course, you're allowed to ask us who we voted for, okay? You're allowed to get to know us. Maybe we need to have lunch and dinner and whatever 20 times before we come to the cookout. That makes sense. But I think what us ginger folk also want black folks to know is that for us, it's really not just about trying to get invited to a cookout. At least for me, I don't know. That's the least of it. And I think we do, us gingers, have a deep desire for reciprocity to you guys, and for you guys to feel safe with us, especially in predominantly white spaces or spaces where black people feel really conspicuous or watched or threatened, which I know is a lot of places, obviously. I know this is pervasive, but if you felt a little bit safer seeing a ginger or feeling like you could sidle up to one of us and be like, hey cousin, because there is safety there, especially depending on where you're at. And any of us gingers that are too eager to get invited to the cookout, we need to earn that, honestly, and continue to reciprocate and like have your backs too. So like if we see any kind of foolishness towards y'all, we need to be speaking up loudly and be like, I'm sorry, what was that? Right? And like stick our necks out to speak up against any kind of racist stuff that's going on, any microaggressions, especially if there's anything happening with like security, police, whatever. We can make that our business. And I think it's imperative that we do, that we step in and we make it louder and more complicated for those powers that be. And support black businesses, always. Okay, that's all for today.
So, it's been scientifically proved that gingers are black. They said because they have the reddish brown hair, they are melanated. Okay, they have melanin, but a different type of melanin, which connects them to the black race.
I've been wanting to speak on this gingers are black trend, and honestly I completely relate to it. As someone with red hair, I've been bullied and I've been excluded my whole life, not by from different people, from different backgrounds, but by other white people. I was always the one who stood out. I was teased for having pale skin, freckles, and obviously my hair colour. I was called horrible names, left out of groups, made to feel ugly or different. Other white people made it very clear I didn't fit into their idea of what was normal or attractive. So when I hear people say gingers are the black people of white people, I understand what they mean. It's not about trying to compare our experiences directly, not at all. It's about recognising what it feels like to be pushed out of your own community, to feel different in a world that treats difference unfairly. Redheads have always been seen as fiery, bold and hard to control, and instead of celebrating that, we are punished for it. So yes, I see myself in this trend. I relate to being seen as other, and I'm embracing that. I'm proud of who I am now. I wouldn't change it. So yeah, gingers are black.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So for as long as I can remember, people been asking me, yo, what are you? Are you mixed? Where you from? Why are you, the way you are? I'm like, this whole time I'm from Louisiana, I'm thinking I'm just a product of my environment. This is just how people are where I'm from. But TikTok has informed me that all these 36 years, I did not know that I'm actually black. What? So now I gotta tell my wife, you actually not married to a white guy, you married to a black dude. And I gotta tell my kids, yo, y'all not even mixed. It makes sense now.
What's going on, people? How you doing? Tell me why something was clarified for me today. Because I was always confused on why a lot of people go on my videos and they'll comment some dumbass response like, oh, why you acting black? Or why you think you're black? And all this mumbo jumbo. And I ignore those kind of comments because it's ignorance, right? But then my sister calls me today. She goes, girl, are you on that side of TikTok? I said, what are you talking about? She goes, the side of TikTok that apparently all gingers are now considered black. So that explains it. That is why most of these people are always like, oh, are you black? Why are you acting black on your video? Stop acting black. Because you want to know something? Because a bitch is black. Don't hate because I'm black and you not. Okay? Bye.